I know these days a lot of people are really into shows like Kaiju number 8, but back in the day, there was a movie that really set the bar for mech versus monster action. And as you can probably guess from the title of this video, I'm talking about the Pacific Rim franchise. What's crazy is just how expansive this world has become over the years. Beyond the movies, there's a whole slew of graphic novels, a TV show, video games, and even more spin-off content. So the idea of a third Pacific Rim movie has always been floating around, and fans have been hoping for it for a while. But while we wait, there's also this new mech series called Dawn Runner that's rumored to be incorporated into live-action adaptations, and it's definitely turning some heads. So let's dig into everything we know so far. When it comes to giant robots facing off against Kaiju, it's tough to beat Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim. The franchise recently hit its 10-year anniversary in 2023, which was a huge milestone, though fans are still eagerly waiting for a new film to continue the story. For those who missed the epic mech battles, there's some new content that really ramps everything up. In Pacific Rim, the premise is simple but thrilling. Kaiju show up to threaten humanity, and humanity fights back using massive mechs piloted by trained soldiers. These robots, known as Jaegers, are so powerful that one pilot alone can't control them, so two pilots must work together. The twist is that the pilots need to be mentally, physically, and emotionally compatible, a concept that makes the battles more than just spectacle because it's about human connection as much as it is about giant fists smashing monsters. For fans who love that combination of giant robots and deep human stories, the comic Dawn Runner is a must-read. Created by writer Ram V, artist Evan Cagle, letterer Aditya Bidikar, and colorists Dave Stewart, Francesco Segala, and Gloria Martinelli, the comic brings a fresh take to the genre. Much like Pacific Rim, it features terrifying monsters called Tetsa and humanity's last line of defense, the mechs known as Iron Kings. But it adds a twist. In this world, mechs and their pilots are almost like celebrities. Their battles aren't just urgent fights for survival, they're major public spectacles. At the center of Dawn Runner is Anita Marr, a fan-favorite pilot who gets chosen to operate an experimental mech called the Dawn Runner. This particular Iron King has some surprises that connect deeply to Anita's past, giving the story an emotional weight that goes beyond just giant robot fights. Even though the drift in Dawn Runner isn't exactly like the one in Pacific Rim, it still explores the pilot's inner struggles, past trauma, and personal growth, making it a story that's as much about human resilience as it is about monster-smashing action. The comic itself is stunning, with mech designs that feel almost organic at times, which makes the robots stand out visually while also highlighting the connection between the pilots and their machines. The fights against the Tetsa are breathtaking, but at its core, Dawn Runner really focuses on the humans behind the controls. For Anita, it's especially poignant because her motivation centers on her child, making her battles about love, protection, and the lengths someone will go to safeguard what they care about. So even though Dawn Runner is a kick-ass mech comic, it's really a story about human courage and heart. It captures the challenges of parenting and protecting loved ones in a world that constantly feels on the edge, and it does so while delivering some of the most visually exciting mech battles you'll see in comics today. Dark Horse Comics has collected the series in a beautiful hardcover edition, and for any Pacific Rim fan, it's definitely worth checking out. Now, talking about the actual Pacific Rim franchise, it's impressive how much content has grown from that first 2013 film. When Guillermo del Toro's original movie came out, it wasn't immediately a hit in the US. It only made around $100 million domestically, but globally, it earned $400 million. That international success showed that the movie had a massive audience worldwide, and over time, its reputation has only grown. Since the first film, the franchise has expanded with a sequel, Pacific Rim Uprising, the Netflix animated series Pacific Rim the Black, and a bunch of tie-ins in the form of video games, novels, and graphic novels. While all of these are interesting, it's the feature films that really anchor the franchise, which is why any hint of a third movie excites fans. Even though there hasn't been official confirmation yet, the potential for Pacific Rim 3 is still a hot topic. Del Toro himself has shared his love for the universe and said that he'd be thrilled to see his Jaegers battle monsters again, though he's clear that he won't be directing a new installment. But even if Del Toro isn't returning to direct, the story possibilities remain vast because there's so much left to explore in this universe. On the cast side, Charlie Hunnam, who played Raleigh Becket in the first movie, has expressed that he would absolutely return if Del Toro asked him. In an interview, Hunnam mentioned that working with Del Toro again would be the main draw for him, showing how much he values the director-actor collaboration. So if a third movie starts going forward, it would be the perfect opportunity for that reunion, which would excite fans who love the original dynamics on screen. Of course, over the years, fan-made trailers have stirred some confusion, making people think Pacific Rim 3 might already be on the way. These trailers mix footage from the first two films, along with clips from other monster movies, and add music and titles to give the impression of a new movie. While these trailers aren't real, they show just how much enthusiasm there is for a continuation of the franchise. Even if the live-action third film takes a while, fans don't have to go without Pacific Rim content. The franchise is thriving in comic form, with 5 existing graphic novels exploring different points in the timeline: Tales from Year Zero, Tales from the Drift, Blackout, Aftermath, and Amara. Each story offers a unique perspective, whether it's events leading up to the films or parallel stories happening at the same time. There's no strict continuity, so readers can jump in at almost any point. And now another exciting project is underway: Pacific Rim Final Breach. This 3-volume graphic novel series is set after the events of the first 2 movies and follows Jake Pentecost and Herman Gottlieb as they plan a last-ditch effort to close the transdimensional rift and stop the Kaiju once and for all. Raleigh Becket will also return, which is a big treat for fans who love the original characters. The Kickstarter for this project reached full funding quickly, showing just how strong the community is and how much people want more of this universe. The first volume is tentatively scheduled for October 2025, with subsequent volumes planned for 2026 and 2027. So, while we may not have a live-action Pacific Rim 3 in theaters just yet, the story is far from over. Share this video and subscribe to our channel to stay in the loop. And if you want, you can share your thoughts about this video in the comments section down below.